wonderful morning to you, our dear viewers, wherever you are watching Lumen TV from. We are back with Lumen Morning Diary, and today we have a well-packed program for you to discuss a lot of things for this long weekend. I'm sitting in indeed for the many presenters that you are familiar with. My name is Sidin Mwamainda. I am not alone. I am with Eugene Musoka. Eugene, welcome to this wonderful morning program.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sydney, and good morning to you, our dear viewers. It's indeed exciting that you are glued to Lumen TV, and I know you have been waiting anxiously for this wonderful program.
Great. Eugene, our running theme today is living the legacy, honoring heroes, and embracing unity. Of course, it's a long weekend of Heroes and Unity Day. What would be your immediate comment on this theme?
You know, if there's something, Mr. Sydney, that we find very difficult in our lives, is to honor those who sacrifice their lives for something to be. I think this topic today is a very important topic, and I know our dear viewers out there are also saying the same thing in their heart. It's indeed a very good thing to honor our heroes and embracing unity. You know, if you are united, as one,
now,
things
I wouldn't want you to preempt, because we'll have someone coming in to discuss more on the theme and much other things. But maybe just to give a lowdown of what people should expect today on this program is that we have, of course, the newspaper picks. We'll have what is trending, and then we'll have Father Arthur coming in with food for the soul. And then there's something important happening in the church, and this is the launch of the catechetical manual for children. Interesting.
We've
always known that in the Catholic Church we have the catechism, and everything is in place. But we are going to be hearing more on what this catechetical manual for the children is all about, and how it is going to shape the church. We may also have sports and the children's segment. Of course, it also hinges on Heroes and Unity Day. Eugene, let's begin with
on the newspaper picks. Today we only have the Daily Mail, and we have ECL private burial affront to Zambia's dignity, AG. Wow. We have another story that says Narumango shares secret behind the government's success. To read a bit about this story, Mr. Sydney, Vice President Mutaye Narumango has attributed the many successes that the new Dawn government is scoring, ranging from the peace and stability, infrastructure development, improved economic policies, to sound leadership. This story continues on page 3. Then we have Zambia's economy on a positive trajectory, Musokotwane. Another story, an elephant kills 2 tourists in South Ruangwa National Park. What a sad story. Hippo attack on Lake Kariba kills 1. So a 42-year-old man has died while his 28-year-old nephew has suffered severe abdominal injuries after being attacked by hippopotamus while fishing on Lake Kariba. A man nabbed for attempted rape of granny. Oh no. A 29-year-old man has been arrested in Kasama district for allegedly attempting to rape a 77-year-old woman after forcing his way into her house. The incident occurred on Thursday between 19 hours and 24 hours. What a sad story indeed.
Okay, so let me also just come in with a headline from the Must newspaper, which reads, HH is treacherous. He has broken the trust of former sitting president in SADC over ECL Barrio Makebi. That's the headline in the post, in the mass newspaper.
Okay.
And then we also have this running headline in the Diggers newspaper. Opposition speechless over Kwacha appreciation. That is VIP. And then there's also another one. Things are harder for Zambians than they were before UPND. That is Calabar. So, and then ERB explains fuel shortages. Oh, there are fuel shortages again after
reducing the prices.
Yes, fuel shortages. Yeah. So these are some of the stories that you find in the Diggers newspaper. Maybe we take it up from there and get into. You didn't read anything from sports.
Yeah, I was about to. You see, Copper Queens seek a smooth takeoff. So the story says, carrying the African Player of the Year tag. I mean, Morocco start ball rolling against Zambia in the 2024 WAFCON Open. So Zambia is up against Morocco.
And that is on Monday, is it?
It's supposed to be today, 22 hours.
It's supposed to be today?
Yes, 22 hours.
And we are told it will be broadcasted.
Yeah.
Hopefully there will be power.
Hopefully, that is where the change is, Mr. Sydney. You know, I think all these platforms which are televising these matches would consider putting them on social media so that at least people will have some time to charge their phones when power comes, because nowadays the schedules that we have are confused. You don't know what time you're going to have power, you don't know what time power is going to come. So it's a bit tricky.
Yeah, elsewhere in the newspapers that I was checked before I came on set, there's also a story of licensure exams for teachers that will be recruited beginning the next recruitment. And it is one story that has brought a lot of mixed feelings with different individuals, including teachers themselves.
Yeah.
Because it means when you graduate, then you have to be again.
You should continue studying.
Continue studying because you'll be examined again. Yeah. You'll sit there for an exam again.
It's a bit tricky, Mr. Sydney. It's a big trick because look at this. You know, every person after finishing school, after graduating, most of them give themselves time to rest. Some of them even to have fun and refresh their minds. Now here's something that has just come up to say, okay, after that, before you are registered, you'll be examined. So it means there will be no time to play. They'll have time now they won't have time to continue studying so that at least they make it. Because if they don't make it, they won't be registered.
I think for me it is a good thing because you know, we are living in the world of AI, and no student from whichever institution of higher learning will tell me it doesn't use AI. And for some, we can simply say there's abuse of AI, like everything that are doing assignments, it's AI throughout. And we find people graduating with distinctions, with merits, and then they were using AI. Take them to class, they can't teach. So I think maybe it's something that is good. And then with the sprouting up of a lot of private universities and colleges, which is not a bad thing, but what kind of caliber of students are they taking in? Indeed. People who have like passed from their secondary exams and then they go into these universities and colleges with good grades and then they make it up from there. Most of them you'll find that they go with poor results.
Indeed.
Then, like they say in media, garbage in, garbage out. Sorry to say, but that is what I think.
But I think I think it's a very good thing, Mr. Sydney, that they have thought of bringing that idea because I think if we are to invest more in education, as you know, education being one of the most important aspects of our lives, it's a very good thing. So I think me, I appreciate it. I appreciate this law. You know, I was against it. The first thing I heard it, I was like, Manjika is Zambia. But I'm now thinking of the realities that happen on the ground. So I think we should have time to do this in all the areas, not only in education, even in health, especially in health.
Too many nurses.
Too many nurses who sometimes they don't even know anything, you know. Yeah, you would wonder, you go to the hospital, swap and station, and it is an emergency. So I think we need to put this aspect of examining these people even after they graduate.
Okay, Eugene, maybe at this time we may take a break, and we'll come back and maybe later on in the show continue with the trending issues, and then maybe after this break we bring in Father Christopher Kunda to talk about the children's catechetical manual that will be launched on the 11th of this month. That will be a Friday.
Indeed.
Let's take a break for now.
Totera kanshiwelesa mwana umo wabanangushile kumona kampalambe kusanshibobe nakutotera kanshiwelesa mwana umo wabanangushile kumona kampalambe kusanshibobe lesawandi ine winga mfushisha ishikushandi shakubomba mwibala lyobe kampalambe kusanshibobe lesawandi mfushisha ishikushandi shakubomba mwibala lyobe kampalambe kusanshibobe mano emulangishi echwa mano aya nshayandi kampalambe kusanshibobe nabulirwa mano emulangishi echwa mano aya nshayandi kampalambe kusanshibobe lesawandi ine winga mfushisha ishikushandi shakubomba mwibala lyobe kampalambe kusanshibobe lesawandi mfushisha ishikushandi shakubomba mwibala lyobe kampalambe kusa kyakubomba mwibala lyobe Kampala mbi kubusanji bobe esawandi ine winga mfushisha ishi kushandi kyakubomba mwibala lyobe Kampala mbi
Ndine fuku.
Hapa? Welcome back, our dear viewers. You are still watching Lumen Morning Diary here on Lumen TV Zambia. Don't forget, it's channel 101 on Topstar. Right about now, we have been joined by Reverend Father Christopher Kunda, SDB, the youth coordinator for the Zambia Conference of Catholic Bishops. Father, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Welcome, Father. So, Father, we bring you here for an important matter that will be taking place on 11th July 2025, the launch of the Children's Catechetical Manual. Tell us, who is invited to this activity and how important is it?
Yes. Firstly, the Children's Catechetical Manual was a request, from the Bishops' Conference to provide some form of a tailored way of teaching children catechism, something that is unified, that could be used by all dioceses, So those who are actually involved and invited to use this document, this manual, firstly are the children themselves, the children, and all agents that are involved in accompanying, in forming our children in Catholic faith. So we have the catechists, the catechizers, the priests, sisters, parents, siblings, older siblings in homes, they're the ones that are literally invited to the use of this manual. Yeah.
In the church, Father, we've had the catechism and all that, and then we see the coming up of this catechetical manual. How different is it, and important is it, this same catechetical manual for the children?
Yeah, you are right. We have several of them already that are being used in our parishes, to form children in Catholic faith. But this one is unique a little bit because it's more comprehensive, very comprehensive. It's structured, and it's tailored towards the child, because even the language that is used there, and it takes account to children's ability to learn, and the language that has been employed is very accessible to children. It brings forth, daily experiences of children, leading them into a deep understanding of the Catholic doctrine. So it's quite spatial, structured, and tailored literally to the needs of the child, the ability of the children to learn, and with the language accessible to children.
Wow, that is very interesting to hear, Father. So where can this catechetical manual be found?
So after the launch, after we launch the manual this coming Friday next week, so the book will be available. Actually, it will be available eventually in the Catholic bookshop. We will have you'll find them through our secretariat here in Lusaka, and as well as the diocese's offices. So we will distribute the books, the manuals there, and people could access them easily at diocese level, Catholic bookshop. We plan to put some kind of document also online. People could find it, in that an editable format that it could be accessed on online platforms. Yeah.
Father, in this world, when the minds of every person is tilted towards business, there could be people who may get these manuals and put them in their shops and begin to sell at exorbitant prices. How much should people expect to get this catechetical manual on?
So to begin with, we will distribute the manual in dioceses, for the use. So we will give a quantity of the books free in each diocese and archdioceses, and afterwards we will decide, some amount of money, for people to access either the online one or either the physical one. So in both cases, people would access with a small fee, because for us, children are important. No, the formation of children in faith is crucial, very crucial. We don't want people to be hindered to access the material. No, because we value children. They are the future of the church. So the faith formation of children is crucial, that they grow into committed adults, well-informed adults, with well-founded values, morals, So it's important that people access this material, especially those who are directly, involved in forming these young minds. We wouldn't want to hinder this material whatsoever. So the fee will be quite affordable. It won't be a fee, to be a contribution maybe toward the same work of catechesis in the country. So the money that will come, that little money, will go back to the, going back into the, the actual work of, forming children in Christian faith, in Catholic faith. Yeah.
Father, we understand that the catechism is very, very important, especially in the lives of children, for it is the foundation of the child's faith in Christ. So what are your words to the catechizers, the catechetical coordinators, and the catechists, now that you have come up with the catechetical manual?
Yeah, I would like to admit to you, that the people involved in faith education of children are special people. I have observed that actually many of the people engaged directly in informing our children in faith do it voluntarily. They feel the desire. Check in our parishes, people, catechizers, catechists, those engaged in faith education of children, they do it literally, gratuitously. We need to thank them. So firstly, the first what I would say is to thank them, actually, to tell them that you're not doing things unnoticeable. We are noticing what they are doing, what you're doing in the parishes, wherever you are, in those centers, in the rural areas, gathering those children, and trying to form them. So I want to thank them. So my word to them is a word of gratitude. The work, for the commitment, dedication to this work, without counting cost. So this is my word, that they may continue in the same spirit, we are called. Teaching faith to children is a calling, a special calling. And so we pray. I would like to pray for those engaged in teaching, as I thank them for their dedicated work in forming children in Catholic faith, in Christian faith. Yeah.
Father, you have invited Lumen TV to come and broadcast live this launch, and of course preceded by Mass live on Lumen TV Zambia. We thank you very much, and on the same day you'll be celebrating the Jubilee of the Catechist, and we are in the year of the Jubilee of Hope, whose theme is Pilgrims of Hope. Maybe your final words as we end, and we assure you that we'll be there.
Thank you that you will be there. I think it is good that you be present, so that we stress also, by that coverage, the importance of the catechist. I sometimes we feel like the catechist is forgotten. He's on the periphery of what we do. Maybe becomes important, or they become important rather, before the administration of the sacrament. So they become crucial. Ask them who is ready, how many are ready for the admission of the sacrament. But so the jubilee of the catechist brings that focus was this person, was this agent of faith, in the Catholic Church. So as a country, we have decided that during the launch, we also mark, the Jubilee of the Catechist, because we want to bring again that focus upon him, that his importance in the education of children in the faith, the role that the catechist plays, in that journey, and that once all the whole country becomes sensitive, to the needs of the catechist. They need ongoing information, for example. They need to be supported with material, like that. So that continuous sensitivity over this sensitive work, the sensitive service that they offer. And as I said, mostly it's done gratuitously. Freely they offer themselves to do that, to educate our children. So the Jubilee is for us an opportunity, to have that focus about the catechists, to think how much they have contributed to the education of our children, of the young ones, and also to see how we could support that work. I mentioned again, I stress it, ongoing information, for example, offering of material support, that they could use didactic materials to use as they journey with our children in that Catholic faith.
Father, thank you very much for waking up early in the morning to come for this program.
I was early. I was here at 6 because it's good to keep time, no?
Indeed.
But I think I was too much early because I mistook the time when I was supposed to be here.
No,
Anyway, I
better.
enjoyed. Thank you so much.
It's better to
Most
be
welcome.
ill.
Yes. I prayed in the car, meditated a bit as I waited for you.
Dear viewers, this has been the Reverend Father Christopher Kunda, the ZCCB coordinator, national coordinator for the youths. You have heard it all, and at this particular time, we get another break, and then we'll be joined by someone to discuss the theme that we are running for this program today.
Welcome back. You're still on Lumen Morning Diary, and right about now we've been joined by Father Arthur for our daily reflection. Good morning, Father.
Good morning, General. Good morning, Mr. Eugene.
Good morning, Father.
And good morning to our dear viewers.
Father, it's that time of the morning that you feed us the food for the soul.
Yeah.
What's the encouragement today, Father?
So yes, today I thought we could talk about what we can call a hole in the soul. Yeah. Okay. Or in other words, an emptiness in the soul. Yeah. I think this is something that we all experience at one point or another. A hole in the soul, or an emptiness in the soul, others would call it a void in the soul, is something that would be caused by a feeling of loss of property, or loss of a loved one. It's something that can be caused by a feeling of depression, feeling of disappointment. It's something that can be caused by dryness in one's spiritual life. And usually when one experiences such, there is a high risk for them to begin to look for something to fill up that void, to fill up that hole that has been caused by whatever has happened. And sometimes whatever they're going to find to fill it up with is not going to be something to build them. It might just be something to crush them, to break them completely. And that is where we need to be careful as people who experience these things. One who, first of all, you need to acknowledge, of course, to acknowledge the fact that you are going through such. When you have a problem, generally a problem, if you don't see that you have a problem, it becomes difficult for solutions to come by, for you to find solutions. Even when people see that you have a problem and they suggest solutions, you might not see that as important because you have not yet acknowledged it yourself, that there is an issue, there is a problem. So it's important, first of all, to acknowledge the fact that you have this void, you have this emptiness in your soul that is begging to be filled up. After you acknowledge that, actually, in spirituality, we can even talk about naming it. Naming what you are feeling, naming what has caused what you are feeling. Others would even want to write it down. This is what I'm feeling. If you have a diary, nowadays people don't keep diaries anymore. Yeah. They put things on their phones. Yeah, whatever you have, diary, phone, whatever you have, write it down. This is what I'm feeling, and this is what has caused what I am feeling. Yeah. So from that acknowledgement, you can now begin to look for solutions. And that is now where the tricky part is, because some of the solutions that you might find might not be very helpful. Okay. Depending on where you are, the circumstances you find yourself in, and the people that surround you, the people that you are connected to, those you call close friends, those you call family, depending on the nature of where you are and the people that you have around you, you might find a solution that might actually break you down completely, or a solution that will build you, a solution that is going to, salvage you from whatever is going on. On our spiritual journey, on our journey as Christians, there's only one thing that can fill up the emptiness, whatever emptiness that one might be experiencing, and that is God. And it is in that emptiness, in that feeling and moment of emptiness, that one has to set themselves on a journey towards the search for God. Because not God, the Umkuba. Nowadays, I know people think
it's God.
Not God, not G-O-A-D. No. That type of God is going. You're going to have it today, but tomorrow it's not going to be there. Yeah. But we are talking about God Almighty. Yeah. So look for God. Go out there and search for God in your moment of emptiness. Let God address the emptiness that you are feeling. Sometimes, yes, you might feel abandoned by the same God. You might feel maybe this same emptiness I'm feeling is caused by the absence of the same God. I might as well just go elsewhere and find something else to fill up the void. But no, God does not ever leave us. In fact, if anything, we are the ones that leave God. We are the ones that run away from God. God is always there. God is always available. when we search for him, we'll find him. We can find him. But when we keep running away from him, then we have lost him, and sometimes we have lost him forever. So it's important for one to acknowledge that there's only one thing. It is just God that can fill up the void. I know that some people might make attempts to go out and look for money, for example. Look for money because they will tell you, once I have money, yes, all my problems are going to be solved. Once I have just money, give me money, and all my problems will be solved. Okay, fine, you're going to have money. But you know that money is not infinite. Money is something that you have today, tomorrow you will not have it. But when you don't have money tomorrow, you should still have something that is going to remain with you. And what is that thing? And that should be God. God is not saying don't have money. Just have me, don't have money. No. I mean, it's the same God that gives us the wisdom to find the money that, yes, exactly. So, God is going to, is not going to slap me because I'm looking for money. I can look for money. But what if tomorrow I don't have that money anymore? What happens? That's where you begin to see people getting depressed because they've been left with that emptiness which they had before. So there should be something that fills up that emptiness, something that is finite, something that is limitless, something that is going to be there whether you have money or not. And that is God. So somebody out there might be going through some kind of emptiness, as we are describing it. It could be loss of employment. It could be loss of property. If you feel up could be loss of anything, or maybe depression of some kind. Somebody has not passed their exam. They feel so bad about it. They feel like they are all alone in this cold world, and so on and so forth. So many things cause this emptiness we are calling. Always seek God in that moment of emptiness, and you are going to find him. Once you begin to seek other things, you might as well find those other things, but those other things are things that are going to be there at that moment, the next moment. They're not going to be there. And then you find yourself in the same problem. Imagine you have a problem today and you think, when I drink, and I drink like the fish, I'm going to feel better. I'm going to solve this problem. Fine. You go out there and drink and drink and drink until you forget that you have a problem. But then that beer that you have drunk, that intoxication that you have gotten from the beer is not going to be with you forever. Tomorrow you're going to wake up, okay? You're going to wake up tomorrow in the morning and you'll be like, okay, here we are again at the same point.
Exactly.
Because now, amano ya abuela, then you realize you are still in the same problem. Yeah. So, and then from there, what is the temptation? The temptation is to go
and drink
again. And so, before you know it, you are dependent on the beer. Are you solving anything? Certainly not. You are destroying yourself. So people have to be aware of these things. It is only God that can help you through the problem or the emptiness that you are experiencing. But then you have to look for this God. You have to have the energy to kneel and pray, the energy to go to church. Gather those little pieces left of you, gather them together, mend yourself, try to drag yourself to church, sit there and tell God, I bring myself as I am, with everything that I'm feeling in my heart, with the emptiness that I have in my heart. I have brought myself as I am. Bless me as you see me. Touch me as you see me. The moment you leave that presence, the moment you leave that church, you not be the same. You not be as you went. Something will have transformed. Something will have happened. And that is what we have to seek in our lives on our spiritual journey.
Well, indeed. I love the fact that you mentioned the part of alcohol, because this is what's happening currently.
Indeed.
People feel each time they run to alcohol, they are solving their problems. But in reality, when they are sober, the problems are still there. And at times they actually put themselves in more problems, because maybe if it was financially, you are using that money that is supposed to be helping you solve the problem in getting alcohol.
Indeed. No, it's good. I'm sure our dearest viewers there, they have learned something from what Father said.
especially the young people.
Us young
We
people.
are the problem.
Indeed. You know, there's just that time that you feel sometimes that maybe all hope is lost. In any mujabi.
Let me just go and drink my head off, and then I'll feel better. Fine, you might feel better, but tomorrow you still find yourself in the same place. Are you solving anything? Not at all. You're destroying yourself. So it takes one who has a certain level of maturity, even as young as they are, but a certain level of maturity for them to see how they can approach the problem that they have. Because beer can never be a solution to the problem. People take beer for pleasure, to relax, not to solve problems. No one should go and take beer so that they forget about the problem, or they should solve a problem. Beer is it's a social drink, you know, and I'm not encouraging anyone to be drinking beer, but if you have to take beer, be responsible. Take it socially. Take it as just a way of relaxing, and don't take it until you lose your senses. You know, there's what they call moderation. I think moderation is important. So now the point is, don't take that substance in order to solve a problem, because you realize that to not be solving a problem, and then you'll be drinking and drinking and drinking until you just want to forget about your problem forever. Then at that point you'll have destroyed yourself. Yeah.
Well, the biggest lesson that I have learned from your father is the fact that you mentioned to say, let us not forget God. No matter the situation, even as things are good, let's always stick to God. When things are bad, let's always go to God. Let's not run away from God. Well, thank you very much, Father, for having you. Hope to see you next week. For now, we take a short break. We'll be right back.
Good morning to all those who are watching Lumen TV at this time. My name is Rachel Ponde, and these are my friends.
My name is Mapalo Kangwa.
My name is Herim Tale.
My name is Tawari Ponde.
My name is Mulenga Manjoni.
And today on the kids segment, we are talking about the history of our presidents.
Our first president was Dr. Kenneth David Kaunda, known as KK. He was the first president of Zambia. He served Zambia as a president from 1964 to 1991. He was born in 1924, died in 2021, aged 97.
Frederick Chiluba was the second president of Zambia. He saved Zambia from 1991 to 2002. He was born in 1943. He died in 2011 at the age of 68.
Our third president of Zambia was Levi Patrick Mwanawasa. He served Zambia from 2002 to 2008 until his death in August 2008. And he was born on 3rd September 1948, and he died at the age of 59.
The fourth president of Zambia was Lupia Bwezanibanda. He saved Zambia from 2008 to 2011. He was born in 1937. He died in 2022 at the age of 85.
Michael Chilufya Sata was the 5th president of Zambia. He served Zambia as president from 2011 to 2014. He was born on the 6th July 1937 and died at the age of 77.
Edgar Chagwa Lungu was the 16th president of Zambia. He served Zambia from 2015 to 2021. He was born on the 11th November 1956 and he died on the 6th June 2025 at the age of 68.
Our current president of Zambia is Mr. Hakainde Hichilema. He was born on the 4th June 1962. That was our topic for today, the history of our Zambian presidents. I hope that you have learned one or two things from this lesson. For us, it's bye-bye.
Welcome back, our dear viewers. You are still watching Lumen Morning Diary here on Lumen TV Zambia. Zambia celebrates Heroes and Unity Day on 7th and 8th July, respectively. So these holidays is not only to pass us by without a personal and national introspection of where we are coming from, we are and where we are going in terms of our legacy through our heroes and fostering unity. And in the studios, we are being joined by Mr. Tembo, a senior citizen. Mr. Tembo, welcome.
Thank you so much, Eugene. I love it when you call me a senior citizen, because I feel like I'm heading there. That's so bad.
Yes, definitely.
No, you are not heading there. You are already there.
Thank you so very much.
You are a senior citizen.
I'm humbled.
It's indeed our pleasure to have you on the program. I know even the dear viewers, they are very happy to see the white beards on the program.
And when you see a man with white beards, why shut up a number of balambuk to a fiaman? Na kutika, nitore po one or two things. And to our lovely viewers, please send in your contributions. You can call us on the number scrolling on the screens. You can send us your messages through on Facebook, or you can just text us. We want to hear your views, as Mr. Tembo is about to give us a manoya.
Mr. Tembo, as young people, we hear about Heroes and Unity Day, of which, just like Father said when he was giving us food for the soul, when we hear about these days, the only thing we know about it is celebration. And that celebration, people only think about going to drink, going to eat. What should come into our mind as young people when we hear about Unity Day and Heroes Day?
I think thinking about or reflecting about Heroes and Unity Day, the colleagues and our followers, the young people out there, should not only bring to mind Chakumwa, I think the focus should be to reflect on where we are coming from. Now, you agree with me that we all know that Zambia got independence in 1964. And it was after the independence of Zambia, somewhere around 1965, that our forefathers, Kaunda and Tim, sat down and decided to coin these two public holidays. That should remind us a number of things. So the idea of having to celebrate the Heroes Day is that we want to commemorate the lives of those that fought hard for the independence of our country. Some of them lost their lives, others like those that were soldiers, lost or were maimed in the process of getting us independent. Some lost families. They had to go, to the diaspora to settle down there because they could not live with the Muzungus who were here. And then coming to the issue of Unity Day, the idea was to consolidate the 73 tribes that we have here in Zambia, so that at the end of the day, all of us are speaking one language, which is one Zambia, one nation, basically.
Wow.
Mr. Tembo, like you had mentioned earlier, you said it's the Kaunda and the team that came up with these days. Yeah. Let us talk about the legacy of Zambia's heroes. What qualities or values stand out the most to you?
For me, one thing that I think I will never forget about our heroes is that they put service before their personal interest. If you look at all those, especially those that are coming from the Kaunda era, most of them, when they retired from politics, even now, if you can go to where they are, you'll be shocked to find that they didn't even have anything that you can talk about as wealth. This is different from what we're seeing, Eugene, now, in general, where a person is just in politics for a mega 1 year. And at the end of that 1 year, you look at how much wealth they've amassed. You get shocked. But these are people we're talking about who were maybe in politics for a period extending 10 years, 20 years, and all they walked out with was what they accumulated as a salary. So for me, it was the idea of them to put the interests of others, service before self, the interests of others before themselves. This we don't see so much among the young people of today. Even, sometimes people think that to be able to put others before you means that you have money to give them. It is not really money that you have to give. You need to have a feeling of wanting to save other people before you look at your interest. I'll give an example. I think early this year, I'd gone to visit my relatives in Chipata. I jumped on public buses going to Malawi. When I was coming back, I think between Petauke and Nyimba, somewhere there, an elderly woman jumped on the bus, colleagues. And this elderly woman had 2 little kids. They looked miserable. But then what touched me the most about you people, the young people of today, is that when the elderly woman walked onto the bus was literally full. There was only a small stool in between the muja mwentinkala muja Bondix life. So when she came onto the bus, she could not accommodate the 2 kids because of the space and where she was seated. So she tried to negotiate with the young, beautiful lady looking like General if she could hold on to one child. And she just said outright, without any reservation, that Mami, sinchitoyanga kuti niyambe kugira mwana wanu. Personally, personally I felt touched, and I thought this is an elder, and being an elder, we need to provide a service to them. And that's how I decided to let go of my seat. And then she sat. When we heard her story, all of us were touched. She was coming from a funeral. She just lost her son, and those were 2 kids that she decided to adopt as an elderly. So look, when you look at that, it gives you an impression that little by little, we are running away from where we are coming from as a people. We have no respect for elders. We have no respect for other people. I think all we are focusing on is just self. And I think we need to end that.
Mr. Tembo,
yes, sir.
How can we carry forward, these ideas you've talked about? How can we carry them forward so that we can also be called the heroes one day in the future?
Exactly. So the first thing that we need to do as people is to begin to run away, I think, from the temptation to want to satisfy the self before the other. That is to be selfless, if you like. There is too much selfishness amongst all of us. especially the young people now. For instance, if you go to social media, even today, just go to Facebook, any Facebook, or you go and visit any TikTok pages, or you read some of those reels. The only thing that you see is someone making an effort to hurt the feelings of others. And I feel that is not the message that we have for ourselves, especially as we are commemorating these two public holidays. Let us try to think about how other people are going to feel, you know, in the spirit of trying to encourage a spirit of oneness and the spirit of being available to others. The idea of going on social media, for instance, to insult other people, Eugene, me, I don't like that. People have gone to an extent of insulting even a head of state. There was, I think, a couple of weeks ago, months, I think, our Archbishop was also insulted because he took a position. And these are elders in society. So if you want to be heroes, if you want to pass on this spirit of unity, working together as a people, I think we need to refrain from this kind of behavior. Yeah.
So probably we're not really united as we claim to be united.
Unfortunately, no. There is no unity at all, especially from what we are seeing amongst the youths. We want to see youths promoting unity in the manner in which they play around with everything. The way they are playing with sport, it should be the same way they are playing with social media. We want to see love shared on social media. We want to see encouragement shared on social media. We want to see young people trying to inspire other young people to move on. So not the idea kuti wakankhalachepa social media ni kutukana manzao because we've waliko na tundalama pang'ono. No. I think that doesn't help us to be a united people.
And looking at us as Zambians, we always want to carry forward the One Zambia, One Nation slogan, the unity. But how does Zambia continue to strengthen that unity today?
Not when we are this selfish. Look, a long time ago, if you found 3, 4, 5 Zambians seated, you would never know where they're coming from. But this time around, General, everyone is talking about this one is from Eastern, this one is from that other province I'll not mention, this one is from... it's not necessary, I think. We are supposed to just embrace the idea that we are one people for one country. So if we can manage to like move away from these some can I call them tribal, you know, kind of feelings that we're embracing, I think we'll be able to continue to embrace the idea of one Zambia, one nation, because indeed we are one nation, and there's just only one Zambia that all of us have. Without this one Zambia, then we become no entity at all.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I came across a certain group of people that were actually saying the reason why we look divided is because imitundusha fulisha. So I don't know how true that is. They gave examples of other countries saying, look at our friends, they only have 3, 4 tribes. But us, what was the point of having 72 tribes?
Okay.
You know that it's a misnomer to believe that Zambia has many tribes. The Chinese have so many tribes.
Indeed, yes.
Amongst themselves. There are so many tribes amongst the Chinese, so much that the 73 we're talking about is nothing. But look at how consolidated and united they are. One of the reasons they are like that is because from when they are children, they are socialized to believe that they are supposed to be proud of themselves as Chinese, and they must be such that they respect what is required of them, respecting elders, working hard, all those virtues and values. But little by little, us, we are losing that. Yeah, we are losing that us, and we can only hope that going forward, maybe, and maybe out of this discussion that we're having, people are going to learn 1 or 2 things.
Mr. Tembo, I know you have that one hero that you'd like people to know about, like at this point in time. Can you tell us the name of that hero? Why do you want people to know about that hero that you know?
For me, even if I was sleeping, Eugene, and you came and asked me the same question, I'll still tell you the same answer. It will never be anyone for me other than Kenneth Kaunda.
Okay.
I went to school I enjoyed what then was called free, not the free education and 200 kwacha. As we went to school and we benefited from real free education, I never paid anything to primary school. I went to a secondary school. At boarding, only thing I paid was a 2 kwacha. And we're calling it a sports fund, I think. That's just 2 kwacha. Everything was provided for us. During days like today, that we are talking about the heroes and unit days, we would gather in places. Those that are in town would go to the stadium to go and celebrate. Food provided for us. Okay? Those that are in the outskirts would gather maybe in schools and other places of public interest, and everything provided for us. That for us was exciting. So I would never forget to recognize this great man that we once had. May he so rest in peace.
So, Mr. Tembo, what really happened? Because you're not the first person I'm hearing this from. Most of the times we hear people say, time yaka undangan independence, then end up stadium, but before there's some drinks. Does it mean kudara mwenzen drama as a country? Now Zambia no longer has money to feed people on such important days?
Yeah.
Somehow you have an argument, General. Our kwacha was stronger then, much more stronger than the pound. We had the currency, I think, in the local language was called mbondo. Like if you have 1 mbondo, then you needed 2 hounds. That is how it was. Imagine how strong a pound is now. It's more than the 27 kwacha we have for a dollar. Now 2 of those were equivalent to just 1 kwacha. That's one side of the story. Then the other side of the story is that the population has been increasing. When Zambia became independent, the population was slightly less than 1 million. But this time round, we are over 20 million people. So it is not the same thing. But for me, over and above, I think Mbowa Paka, amongst those that we have entrusted with the responsibility to take care of the national resources. If you look at just this aspect, General, an average minister, even now as we talk, if you went to their home, you'll notice 1, they have a big house, and 2, they have a house for a car for themselves, a car for their wife, a car for their girl. No, I'm not going to. A car for their girlfriend, a car for their Mrs. girlfriend. So that's the first girlfriend level and second girlfriend level. A car for each one of their children, and they have 6 children. 1 person. Now tell me, if all of us were able to share these resources evenly, we should definitely have continued to celebrate these feasts, these holidays, in the same way that we were celebrating them then.
But I think it's not very, very far from the time those things were happening. I remember when I was doing my grade 7, that time when there is independence, tenzotenga kwa na mabooks ya free, my books kapena 6 books with pens, sometimes wakupasa kwa na mabiscuit, but those things are no longer happening.
They're gone.
That's why ban pratamangila kuti whenever there are such days, because it's like the value of these days is actually shining away slowly and slowly.
We can bring it back to life. Traore has done it.
Exactly.
If Traore can do it, we can do it even ourselves to here in Zambia. So what we need is just to do away with this ideology of having to focus on the self, and we begin to think about the other person out there.
Maybe we can narrow it to this question. Do you think the sacrifices of these heroes are still visible?
Personally, I feel that wherever these heroes have been buried, they are turning in their graves, with pain when they look at what we are doing to what they fought for. These people sacrificed a lot for this country to be independent. These people sacrificed a lot for us to be one united entity. But come and think of what is happening right now. I think it's painful. Even personally, if I went to join the heroes out there one day, and this continues, I would not lie happily out there in my grave. No. So I'm appealing to all of us, if there's a way, let's continue, I think, singing this song calling for national unity, singing this song calling that people must learn to share what we have. Zambia has a lot of resources. Why is it that Wakurwanda wakabwera mu Zambia? 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, Valemera, if Etawinemake still Emera, where is the problem? So we cannot surely argue that we don't have resources. We cannot argue that we can continue to be poor in our own home country. We need to learn to share the little that we have. Pope John Paul once argued that there is no one who is too poor to share. So if the poorest person can share, what about those that have? Why can't they learn to share?
Yeah.
Why can't they learn to share?
You know, I was making calculations one day. I says, look, our government have given us a lot of money, more than 31 million as CDF in the one constituency. Then I added that money with the total number of constituencies that we have. Then I was like, what if we were to share this equally a business? I think we was it one.
That is very true.
You know, you're not the only one. I've actually seen these conversations on social media to say, if they look at the money that the government gets from these people that got that money illegally, you find that it's equivalent to the number of people, the population that is currently in Zambia. Why can't they share each one
just
a percentage of that?
Even
if you fail, you fail.
Even just 1 million each person, we can manage as a country. I'll tell you one thing. I think a couple of months ago, I came across an article on the southern province. Money for CDF, we were told that it was given to some beneficiaries. And what project were they doing? They were training them on how to operate heavy equipment for mining. Now in Southern Province. Does it add up? No, it doesn't.
Maybe
there are no mines in Southern Province.
Maybe they will relocate to.
No. And this is what we're talking about. So automatically it tells you that something is wrong. Either those that have been entrusted with the responsibility to handle these monies are the ones that are training and benefiting as trainers. Or maybe they had targeting, they would have brought their own relatives maybe from the Copper Belt to come and train where? In Southern Province. So at the end of the day, the Southerners themselves are not benefiting from this whole arrangement. So insofar as I think I'm concerned, it still boils down to one thing. There is too much selfishness amongst ourselves. For as long as we continue to be selfish, we surely will not be able to all enjoy the resources and endowment that Zambia is blessed with.
Mr. Tembo, how can commemorations like this go beyond symbolism to inspire real action and patriotism?
We want to see people live the values that our forefathers lived, the values of selflessness, the values of hard work. And I want to zero in on hard work. During the Kaunda regime and during the time that us were growing as young people, in the civil service, the civil servants were working hard. You could tell that people are working. Not yamanja utu mwenda kwa office ati mwenda kwenda rasi office. Swaku mwanati ya mzabezi wakoweka makoti pa mipando anaenda. It is not right, okay? So values like hard work, values like respect for others, values like caring and loving others, values like sharing, all these values, if surely we can manage to embrace them, then we would live beyond just recognizing these days as symbols of national unity or symbols of recognizing our heroes. We want to be heroes ourselves, heroes for each one of us. Yeah.
And do you think we need more sensitization? Because most of the times, like heroes and unity, I think by Shafiati time here trade fair, they don't really know what is it all about. All they know is what they are Banja trade fair, what is 4 days holiday trade fair. They don't know what it means as Heroes and Unity Day. They only know what it means trade fair. So should we sensitize more about these holidays?
I always respect the Chinese and the people from the Far East. The Chinese start teaching their children the values of their society from a tender age. I'm not asking for sensitization, but I'm asking for a change in the manner in which we form members of society, especially the little ones. So from the time that they are tender, we continue to talk to them about these values. If we manage to do that, I can assure you we'll be a different society altogether. An average Zambian is not proud to be who they are. An average Zambian is proud to call themselves somebody else. An average Zambian, when they go out there, they would rather claim that I'm from South Africa. And for real, you must be proud of who you are. Our friends are proud of who they are. We need to learn to be proud of ourselves. So that calls not for sensitization, but that calls for a change of mindset. So that from childhood, people are taught to value certain things that are important for them to contribute to being important and valuable members of our society.
Well, Mr. Temba, thank you very much. Jafile nachilanda tinga mwamono mkuluni shmaisha tmala tola mo amano. Ineni tola mo amano. I hope our viewers have learned. Comfort. Let's not be selfish. Let's try to think of others. As we say, we're going to be united. Not unity apakanwa, but hopefully the opposite. For now, we take a short break. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Dear viewers, you are still watching Lumen Morning Diary here on Lumen TV Zambia. Those of you who are following us using Facebook and also YouTube, don't forget to send us those comments and tell us what you are thinking about today's topic. It is very important that we participate in such programs because we are the owners of this nation and no one else on Zambia apart from ourselves. Mr. Tembo, we are still with you on this program. Kindly tell us about Mulele Mwana.
Yes, Mulele Mwana is a project under St. Charles Ruanga, or you commonly refer to it normally as Regiment Catholic Church. You know that the church, the Catholic Church, has a holistic approach to the development of a human being, where we focus on health, focus on the spiritual aspect of the human being, and also focus on the education of the human being, besides looking at social justice and other things. So in the interest of trying to promote the holistic development of a human being, our parish, which is St. Charles Ruanga, with the support from donors and other well-wishers, came up with a project which we are calling Mulele Mwana a Skills Training Center.
Wow. Very, very interesting.
Yeah.
So you are involved in which category are you involved in? Is it the children or maybe it is just everyone involved?
Okay, Mulele Mwana's target of audience is children aged above 15, 16 years. Those that have completed grade 12 and would like to take on a career in areas like food production, carpentry, automotive, electrical, those areas, and power, electrical power. If those are areas where a person has interest, Mulere Mwana can help them to realize their dream of becoming a professional in those areas. Yeah, and then the institution has taken on what is now being encouraged by all TVET institutions as inclusive education. Now, what the policy is doing is that it's allowing people that have disabilities to train together with those that do not have disabilities per se. I'm saying per se because it is understood and believed that all of us have disabilities.
Exactly.
Eugene, maybe you have a disability. I wouldn't know because you are not mimed. So is Janara because she is not mimed. But we are looking at people who are mimed. Maybe they are not able to listen. They are not able to see. They are mimed their legs and so on and so on. We are bringing all of them together and teaching them as one entity. And that is what we call inclusive education. So Mulele is one of the few institutions in Lusaka right now that has taken that policy seriously. And then besides that, we open to orphans because we have an institution called Zambia Orphans something that supports, and they have an office right within Mulele.
Okay.
They help to identify people that have an interest to pursue education, but they are orphaned, or they have an intention to pursue education, but they don't have capacity to pay for themselves. They can come to Mulele and they will be able to be helped. Insofar as the same CDF that everyone talks about, even at Mulele, we have students, we have learners that are coming to Mulele because they have benefited from a CDF fund. So we are open to all kinds of students, those that can pay for themselves, those that need support from the community.
Emil, yes, like you mentioned, you're open to any type of student, meaning even the non-Catholics.
Exactly. Like I said, the focus of a church is to provide integral and holistic development of a human being. So we are not looking at whether they are Catholics or they are not Catholic at all, but everyone, for as long as they have an intention to receive a training, Mulele opens their door to them. But the beauty is when you are Catholic, then you can also take advantage of some of the resources that are within the Catholic Church to help you to come to Mulele and get a recommendation. Sure.
Do we have any students who will be graduating this year?
This year, on the 26th of September, we will be having a graduation ceremony. Our target are students who left Mulele between 2019 up to 2024.
Okay.
All those, if you are out there, you left Mulele between 2019 and 2024, we are calling on you to come and register yourself, to express yourself that you want to be part of the graduates that will graduate on the 26th of September this year.
So this is the first graduation?
No. It is the 12th graduation. We've had graduations from the time that Mulele was established in the early 2000s, up to somewhere around 2018. But because of a few things that happened, resources and a few things that went wrong, we had stopped getting to organize graduation ceremonies. But we have come back now to reorganize ourselves, and we are saying those that are graduated between those periods can come and officially graduate. Yeah.
Very, very interesting. Any words for the viewers out there about Mulele?
The general public, we have written letters, for instance, to companies and individuals out there to help us organize this event. We are appealing to you to respond in the positive. For firms, what we are saying is that on the material day, we are going to allow you to come to advertise your products. We are going to allow you to bring your banners. We are going to allow you to bring your pop-ups and stuff like promotional materials and all that during the day. And we are expecting not less than 500 people, and that's a big crowd, to be able to market yourselves. And possibly, who knows, even Lumen TV will be there to cover the event live. And that is another added, mileage in terms of coverage. So we are appealing to all those that are willing to come and supporters to come and join hands with us. But as for those that have been thinking of taking their child to an institution of learning, we are saying that Mulele is one of the options that you have. You can bring that child of yours. We are going to make them be able to stand out in society like Tembo does, because I'm one of the people that train our students at Mulele Mwana.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Tembo. And definitely we'll be there for the graduation. Thank you for the indirect invitation.
Indirect invitation, indeed.
You are most welcome.
Well, it's good to have you on the show, and now we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We're still honoring heroes and embracing their unity as we're about to celebrate Heroes and Unity. That falls on the 7th and the 18th. That's Monday and Tuesday. Eugene.
Yeah, indeed, it has. It is. We are still on a journey, and it is still very interesting journey. Good to hear from Mr. Tembo, who spoke about a lot of things, a number of interesting things that we young people need to learn from, so that we will be able to build even a better Zambia in the future.
The selfish. Selfish members of the society.
I think with limited resources that we have, Mr. Tembo was right. We are able to do something out of it and develop our country. But my many Mr. Sidney is looking at me.
Yeah, because
so I think
the sidelines.
Yeah, I think
there's
one thing that we need to work on, the aspect of unity.
Exactly.
Yeah, we are not united as we claim. You know, I know on our social media platforms we are the #1 people to say no, Zambia, we are united, but I think there's something that we need to do.
And you've touched a very good point. Social media. I feel in Zambia, on social media, we're united.
You see?
On trivial matters, we are not united. But tell us if it's something that is not going to build us, we'll be so united.
It's a reality.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think, guys, those matters have been spoken at length by Mr. Tembo, and our viewers who missed that interview, I think, will be getting an excerpt of that, and then we'll rebroadcast it on Monday and Tuesday, and they will be able to hear what Mr. Tembo shared with us regarding Heroes and Unity Day. However, we are running short of time, and I know Eugene and General, you have a lot as in what is trending.
Yeah.
What touched me from there is the issue of the two tourists who died in South Ruangwa National Park.
Oh, yeah.
They were ladies. They were attacked by a female elephant that had a calf. They were killed. It's a sad situation. And maybe let's pick up what other trending stories do you have? Just
yeah, the one that has touched me the most is a story of a 50-year-old man who died after he was brutally beaten with a piece of timber by his 18-year-old son in Lusaka's Kanyama compound. Yeah, so Godfrey Miova died on Wednesday, July 2nd, following the incident that occurred on Monday, June 30th, 2025. Police Assistant Public Relations Officer Godfrey Chirabi has confirmed the report, stating that on that day of the incident, the suspect also assaulted his mother with an iron bar.
Wow, this is really sad. So for me, the change is something that came from one of our viewers, as we've been asking for our viewers to bring in trending stories.
Yes.
So this viewer told me to say we should speak about this. Lately, Lusaka has been experiencing, what can I say? Transportation has been hard, as in buses. It's been really hard to jump on a bus. And normally when you get on a bus, the prices are so high than the usual. You can imagine when people that go to 6 miles, they probably pay 15 to 20 kwacha. But because of what's happening recently, people are actually boarding a bus from town to 6 miles at 30 kwacha.
Yeah.
What is it that has been happening, General? I'm a little bit behind.
So I don't know.
Because what has been happening
what happens is, especially when it's around 19 to 20 hours, most of the buses usually they knock off. So due to demand, people make queues there.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's not even 19. We're having queues even before 18. There are so many queues. There are no buses. And we heard the speaker actually asked the Minister of Transportation to say the pump prices have been reduced, but why are you not reducing the bus fares? And to our surprise, it's actually getting worse. From the 15 kwachas now to 30 and 35 kwacha. It's like these guys they're taking advantage of the situation. Where just because there are no buses at the moment, they'll put a price, and these drivers will also follow the price of Yalalanda Bakaponia. And you know, Sydney, people make budgets.
Yeah, true. Okay, so indeed, I heard the Speaker of the National Assembly actually asked the Honorable Minister to make a presentation to Parliament, and this is expected by Thursday. It is not only on transport, but even on food commodities, because we always say that fuel is a driver of the economy. And so fuel has been coming down, I think, from, is it May? June and July, we've seen some good amount of reduction. That was about 3 kwacha on petrol, and diesel is somewhere around, is it 25 kwacha from the 35 kwacha it was at some point. I think that was the highest it went. But then there's been these reductions, and then it's unfortunate that there hasn't been a correlation in terms of the prices and the reduction. But business as it may be with the transport sector, and all those who deal with business, to reduce it becomes an issue. But we hope that will be done, and that people will agree. Hopefully this will not be again be another challenge, because we read from the newspapers, one of the headlines was that there's fuel shortage. So games could be played there where you find these transporters of fuel, maybe they are not bringing in fuel because they see that fuel has been reduced and the like. And we hope that the people charged with that responsibility will be able to be on top of things and normalize the fuel shortages that we are hearing. I haven't experienced it. I was to one of the fuel stations. I refueled. Hopefully it is not a big issue, and that they're just games being played. And
I think just
things can be sorted out.
Sorry to cut you short, Mr. Sid. I think those people, as you have said, those people who are in charge should be equal to their task.
Yes.
You know, I know those people in the ERB, those people in government, they know that the ERB will be announcing the prices of fuel on this particular date.
Yeah.
So they should also start to set up their homes where transport fares are concerned to say, immediately, because what usually happens is that immediately fuel prices increase, in the next 2 or 3 days, you hear the increment of bus fares. So we are expecting...
And the consumers are always ready.
Yes,
we always
yes,
adjust.
yes,
You
we
see.
always adjust.
When we are using buses and everything, when you go, they tell you, no. In fact, when you hear an announcement, we know, let me prepare and the like. But it is different the other way. When fuel reduces, you'll find things. Yeah, it takes time, and government has to come in and enforce some regulations. And so forth. But dear friends, in the interest of time, maybe we needed to have sports. But we can maybe just conclude with the issue, the sad news that we got on Thursday morning of the death of Diego Jota, a Liverpool striker who died in a road accident at the age of 28. He was with a brother, the name of Andre Silva, who was also a footballer. They died in a very tragic death, so to say. And I think for me, why I bring up this story is because there are lessons to learn. You know, as generally supports Manchester United, we never walk alone. We never walk alone with you. Yeah, so there's nothing like that is Nimaliro Yanu and the like. The whole football community has come together. There are messages, tributes from every soccer fan, from every football club, and there's even plans of trips going to Portugal for a funeral.
And like I also mentioned,
Zambia must be learning something from this.
The day that he passed, I was like, God, Kudi is a soccer lovers. You know, those that don't have no idea about football will probably just think it's just another death. But this has really hit us. You know, each time I would, I secretly love Liverpool.
You are not the only one. You should just at an important time, actually.
You know, sometimes he should just tell us to say, I never walk alone.
No, that's what she's saying. That's what she's saying.
You know, each time I would see Diaz being subbed off or Diaz is not starting, I would know it's Jota. You know, so it will be... It's really painful that next season we're not going to see jersey number 20, and I've been told it has been retired.
Yeah, I think the Liverpool are planning that the jersey 20 will be put aside, I think forever, to honor great Diego Jota, who wore that shirt from the time he signed from Wolverhampton to Liverpool, signed by Jurgen Klopp. He scored some good numbers, and as viewers can see, that is the picture of Diego Jota there and the brother Andre Silva. Diego Jota born 1996 and died 2025. The brother born in 2000 and died 2025 on the same day. Very sad indeed. Messages have been coming in. And something just again to say is that Diego Jota just married I think a week,
7 days ago, 5 days ago.
And he's got 3 young kids. You know the way our friends in Europe do. You have a girlfriend or a partner, they call it. You can even have children, and then just later on you decide, okay, now let's have our wedding and the like. Muntu swokwatira alina my girlfriends 4, but there they stick to one. You can even have children and later on.
Kulienza nakamba mairo ati manje wameno iwai senzo omkwatira bana bonsa waya namkwatira late nabona uzana ati you've never followed these guys. These people normally get married after years of being together, having kids, and if you've noticed, once they get married after that, they don't really last.
Oh.
Yes,
Oh.
most of them that have maybe cohabited and had kids maybe for 11 years, 5, 15 years, they get into marriage. Probably they only stay 4 to 3 years and they divorce. So it's like it's stronger before they get married. Okay,
I
so
think we have
due
got a
to
list.
time, I have some messages that I have to read.
Okay.
Let me acknowledge our viewers. I'm watching you. This one comes from Frank Kaole. Following from Mount Zion, great jobs, Alice. Thank you very much. Following from Ibala, beautiful, intelligent kids. Tasi, excellent presentation from our children. Kenneth. Thank you very much, our viewers, for following us. We appreciate you.
Maybe Jenna, you can close for us. I don't know, Eugenie.
Yeah, just my few last words. Not last words. Concluding remarks.
Last words,
last words, are you going?
Anyway, I would like to wish our Copper Queens, all the best as they participate in the WAFCON. Even as they play on the pitch, they should know that us, the fans here, are expecting nothing but the best. Want to see that trophy coming here to Zambia. Failure to which, if I had powers, I'd let them
Maybe from me, finally is to thank our viewers who've stayed with us from the time we started, and all those who follow Lumen TV, our fans, we love you, and we'll try to always bring what interests to you and what you want to hear. So you can always contribute and send us messages, and please criticize us where you need to and where you feel it is important, but I think sound criticism, is it? So finally, again, to thank you, dear friends, and ourselves for waking up early. It's not easy. There are challenges on the way. Yeah. Yes.
And I feel guilty about that statement, Mr. Sydney. But it has been a lovely show. Thank you very much. We'll see you next week, same time and same channel. But please continue watching Lumen TV on channel 101 Top Star. Bye for now.